Hey, hey, Omar Chicago Cycle Network. And today we have somebody that, man, when I talk about go above and beyond, this guy has. And to be able to perform at the level that he does, man, it is just like, I'm just in awe. And I hopefully that you guys will be in awe too when you get to like dive into to see what it takes, what he does to become, what he does and to perform at that level. I mean, it is phenomenal. For somebody who has had many friends who have done all sport, with swimming, biking, and running. I am like just amazing impressed. Okay, so guys, please sit back and relax. We're gonna learn about Mr. Red Shirt right here. Let's call him Mr. Red Shirt for now. Okay, we're gonna get into his name later on. But again, guys, thank you for subscribing and supporting the mission. And again, just to come out and sit down and talk and learn about different people in Chicago and why it's just an amazing place to be. We have people from all different backgrounds. Whether you do one sport, which is just like, gravel or biking only, or do triathlons or duathlons, a commuter ride or gravel crit, whatever. We have all different people in network, and all you guys make Chicago an amazing, amazing place. I want to keep on pushing. And it's 2026, and we got a lot of amazing people to come and talk about whether you want to talk about your race and how it inspired you to put on your own race and your own event. Because that's where we're coming from, and today is a testament of that. And we're going to sit back and relax and just learn about Red Shirt right here. I'm going to call him Red Shirt, right? But again, you guys will see, because I stalk his Strava, and I'm telling you, man, this guy is a beast. He's an animal. He's like out of this world, and you guys will see. Okay, I mean, I'm just thinking about seeing him crossing the finish line in some of his events. I'm like, wow, that's impressive. So guys, with no further ado, please introduce yourself and let's take it from there.
I'm Andrew Starykowicz, from Chicago. I born at Michael Reese Hospital, grew up Riverdale, grew up going to Club 505 in Hegwish. That's where my great grandfather played in a polka band, and so and then as I grew up, I grew outward into the suburbs, and now I'm just grew up, pinwheeled around Chicagoland, and now I'm on the far northwest side. And pleasure to be here, and very humbled by the comments. So,
hey, thank you so much. And
I'm excited for this.
And again, guys, the day that we're filming this one is the day in Chicago when about 5 o'clock in the morning, everything looked fine outside. And about by 6:37, you go outside and it was like snowing and windy and just go crazy. Because I have some friends who invite me to go for a bike ride from Cortado. And I said, if it's 75 degrees, I go outside, which it wasn't. They went, and some people take a train back from Ravinia back down into their home. So it was a bad day. And he made it. Okay, guys, he made it because he really want to come and share his story. And again, we're going to learn about it. So I know he puts on a race, ride. It depends on how you want to define it. And I think it looks pretty cool. So he's going to tell us about what's inspiration, why you put on the ride, and what's it all about, the dates, the cost, whatever you can get from this ride. So please tell us what it's all about.
Man, putting me the pressure right away. So Seeds and Stones Roubaix kind of manifested from my passion for cycling. I worked, so out of college, I got a job working for Caterpillar out in Aurora. And when I'd head west from Aurora, I'd ride out in the western suburbs. And I was, at that point, we were riding really skinny tires. We were riding 19s and 20s on the road. And I just noticed the main arteries were really busy, and there's all these gravel roads to ride on. So I started riding, putting 25s on my bike and riding these gravel roads. And it was, I could ride them, but it was pretty miserable. And, as time evolved, I had a mountain bike, a old Cannondale, with their fatty fork. And I can't even remember. It's like I don't even remember the model anymore. And I actually laced it was clincher, or not clincher. It was rim brake mountain bike. So that's how old it was. Mm-hmm. And I laced up 700s on the hubs, and got some cyclocross tires and started doing gravel rides out there. And this is 2005, 2007.
Oh, wow.
So, and I would do these incredible 80, 90-mile bike rides or just gravel roads almost the whole entire way
On
out
a
there.
mountain bike?
It was a drop bar mountain bike. And I had, and just, yeah, it was a mountain bike and set of 26s. I took off the rims and laced up I think it was a Mavic CXP or CXR rim. I can't remember what it was. And, laced it up and put some cyclocross wheels on it. And it was the best. Like, honestly, I think some of my cycling ability that we'll get into when triathlon came from those long rides on gravel where you're just pushing the gear the whole time. You can't just, like on a road bike, you pedal, and you can like sneak a little break here and there because you coast and it's just natural. But I mean, just the years and years of training on the gravel, and I loved it. And so, fast forward, I turned full professional and, I moved instead of training in the western suburbs outside Aurora, where I moved in the north side, and I started living on the Plains River Trail and then the north end of the Prairie Path where it turns to gravel. And I mean, I've always loved the off-road. And as my triathlon career wound down, I wanted to, give back. And, my heart, as much as I loved triathlon and it was my career, I really enjoyed gravel. And, for my first desire was to put on a gravel event. And yes, gravel exploded in the late 2019, 2015, it just exploded. But I mean, I feel like I was like the original, I'm the OG for when it comes to gravel, because I've been riding it for years. And so I went and started talking to a bunch of municipalities about, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. And to get a bunch of township commissioners to approve you to go through their area was a lot harder than I expected.
I'm not surprised. It's politics.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people that, we don't like you on our roads, and it's just like, okay. And, sometimes I would accept the first no, and other times I would push for a second and third no. And, some people would be like, I've already told you no. And I'm like, I'm just seeing if there's a chance, because you have a lot of really good gravel roads. And he says, no, I don't like you. I don't like cyclists on our roads. I'm like, wow. So, I found an area, and it was I knew an immense amount of roads, which when I went back a decade after not being there for 10 years, there's a lot less gravel roads than there were before. So
a lot of turn them into a lot of paved roads, farm roads.
Yeah, a lot of farm roads, a lot of paved roads. Putting up windmills kind of does those in, and the wind farms definitely increased a lot more paved roads. And then also, municipalities keep encroaching further and further west. So I found Waterman. They thought it was a great idea. I remember pulling in there. There was a middle school, this old middle school, probably turn of the century middle school, turn of last century middle school. Mm-hmm. And now it's since been torn down. But I remember rolling into that town and stopping at the pub in town to fill up water bottles, because, at that time there wasn't even a gas station in the town. And, to come back, and there's still this gravel track that I used to ride by, that's where we start and finish. So, it came full circle, and I absolutely, it's an incredible course. It's an incredible race.
So it's in Waterman, Illinois.
Yeah. So it's straight south of DeKalb. It's from the loop. It's 1 hour straight west. You take 290 to 88 and just head 1 hour straight west from the loop, and you land in Waterman, Illinois. And it's,
so you say it's west of so do you pass the Oasis station? Oasis.
It's straight south of the Oasis. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and I'm excited. In making the event, we wanted to not do, so much of gravel has turned into a gravel race, like everybody racing for the finish line. And we, the group that I'm working with, which some family, some friends, it's about, gravel is about riding together. It's about having fun. And so instead of just a race to the finish line, We did preems, so we have 5 or 6 preems on course.
Oh, nice.
So we do Strava style preems. So you could have a flat in the first few miles, or you could just ride. We could ride together, and then we hit that section, and I could be like the 30th guy across that area. But if I'm the quickest one
exactly.
in that segment,
then you get a preem.
Yeah, and then you win the preem. And like the first year we had a keg of beer. So we had a keg of beer for one of the preems. We have sometimes we have different clubs. This year we're going to talk to a bunch of the local farms and see maybe if, we can get some, even more of a Seeds and Stones type, maybe get some organic meat, a couple steaks on one, or, just try to do things a little different than everybody else.
Yeah, and keep it engaging and fun and just unique and different. Yeah. I like that. I like that. So what's the distance are we talking about for this?
So we have 3 distances. We're 25-ish, 50-ish, and 75-ish. It kind of depends on what courses we end up with, and what roads are going to be in the roughest or best shape that we're going to want to do. Personally, I like long, straight sections of road that are just gravel for long periods of time. So I like picking those and making sure to include those, and then just incorporating based on the traffic flow of what we perceive it's going to be. And all that changes year to year. So, we're working on the course, but we have a 25-ish, 50-ish, and a 75-ish mile race. And one thing that we do very uniquely is you don't need to pick your distance until event day. So if you get out there and you're 25 miles in and you're like, I forgot to charge my Di2 battery, I flatted 9 times, I'm ready to be done. At whatever it is, mile 15, you can turn left and go to the finish line and do the 25-mile event. Or if let's say you get to mile 50 and you're only planning, or mile 40 and you're planning on doing the 50-mile ride, but hey, I'm with a great group of guys, we're really working well together, and they're all doing the 75, you can decide to do 75. So whatever you want to do on the day is whatever you get to do, and you cross the finish line, and based on when you finish, we can figure out which distance you did, and we just ask you, hey, just confirming you did 50, or do you just confirm you did 75?
So for the preems, so I guess you're using Strava.
Using Strava.
So you have to submit your Strava time, and you guys wait until everything is finished.
Yes.
When it's updated, finally, then you basically, there's a cutoff time to update your Strava?
Yes, cutoff time to update your Strava.
Gotcha. And then based on that, so what's the preem like? Like $1,000, $1 million? How many?
Well, it depends on the prizes. We've given out wheel sets. We've given out kegs of beer. We've given out
meat is coming, right?
We're gonna do meat. Yeah, we're working on an organic farm.
Eggs, never.
Yeah, it depends on eggs. Eggs could be a great commodity.
Yeah.
So we've tried different things. We've done kits. So we've done 10 in the last few years. So I'm just trying to figure out.
While you try to remember that, what year did you guys started this?
So this is going to be the 3rd year that we've done.
3rd year. So it's a brand new race, basically.
It's a relatively new race. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but we've got developed, again, our goal is not just to come into the town and, be that, that event happens in our town. We try to get the town involved. The event donates, we donate a pound of food at least to the Hinckley Area Food Pantry, which is right there in Waterman. And then the Waterman Lions come in, and we do pancakes and coffee before the event.
Wow.
So you can come out there a little early and have pancakes and coffee before the event starts. And this year every entry gets a pair of cycling gloves.
Look at this, guys.
So
and it says the Seeds and Stones Roubaix on it. And as you can see, they're arrow. So it means that if you really get these, do the right, you'll save about 10 to 30 watts.
Yeah, it's not the 10 to 30 watts is not guaranteed.
not guaranteed.
Not guaranteed.
But for all who believe, just you put this glove on, and if you believe in it, guys, you'll save that 10 to 30 watts.
Yes.
This is pretty awesome, actually. I like glove like this one. So
yeah, we're really excited about it. And we got towels at the finish line and roasted corn at the finish. So, again, our goal just wasn't a start line and a finish line and everybody leaves. Our goal was a start to finish experience, and not a race start to finish, kind of a more of a, we can ride together, and then, let's just kick down a couple preems, and then at the end we can finish up, have some roasted corn, and have a couple beers.
Yeah, I like the ideas, and it seems it's very engaged in the community also, not just the cyclists, but everybody come together at the end and we all have a good time. So
yeah.
So when do you typically have everybody try to finish? What time do you start? What time is it, like, the cutoff time?
So we have an 8:30 start time. We've played different start times. We, since it's a kind of, I'm not going to say a destination, but we're an hour from the city. So we know where a lot of people are coming from between 30 minutes to an hour and a half away. We try to make it a time that you're not leaving really, really early. You can get on the road at 6 a.m. You're there at 7:30, plenty before the race or the ride, however you want to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have an hour to have some pancakes and coffee when you get there, get situated, visit the washroom, and then roll out. So we had an 8:30 a.m. start, and I think our cutoff is around 3 p.m.
Gotcha.
for the end, and I think we do the Strava giveaways around 2:30.
Okay, so if you want to get on the Strava giveaway, guys, you need to get there at least by 2:30, which is awesome. So,
you could still be out on course. You just have to have it uploaded.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So you're biking, as long as you upload your Strava, then you get in the preems. That's a cool idea. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
We try to do something different.
Because I remember doing the turkey burner, and what they did was they basically, in the first, like, I guess like half a mile to race or less than that, the first person to cross a point, they want a turkey.
Yeah.
So it means in the first, maybe it's like a 200, 300 meters, but you have to go like balls to the wall in the first.
And it's just breaks the heart the whole field.
Exactly. Whosoever make it there first, at the end of the race, they get your number down, and you come for the finish, you get a turkey.
Yeah.
So this kind of same principle. I like it. Maybe you might see me. I might get a few friends to come on here, because it sounds pretty fun. And where the race is my wife lives in Sterling, Dixon area.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of, we always go by the area like all the time. But I've never been to Waterman actually before, but
it's maybe straight south of DeKalb.
Gotcha.
Like 10 miles.
And what's the date? What's the other date for
May
this year?
2nd.
May 2nd.
May 2nd. So weekend before Mother's Day.
That could be a Mother's Day gift for my wife. All right. Sounds good. So guys, I hope you have gotten enough information. So the name of the ride is called Seeds and
Stones Roubaix.
Roubaix.
And
easy.
And it's, we kind of went with Roubaix because we finish on a gravel track. So it's kind of like the Paris-Roubaix finishes on a track. So you finish on a gravel track.
Oh, nice. So what's the percentage between, we try to keep it mainly gravel, or
we're 80% gravel.
Wow. That's a lot of gravel.
Yeah. I mean,
you go to gravel, it's like 50-50 or like 40. Well, this is like a lot of gravel. So
there's a lot of gravel, a lot of good gravel roads. And so we're 80% gravel, 100% fun.
Can't beat that, guys. Seeds and Stones Roubaix, May 2nd. If you can be there, guys, please be there. So where do you go to college? You mentioned you went to college.
I went to Purdue. So I was, of course, you go to Purdue, you got to be an engineer. And so then I became an engineer at Caterpillar after college. And then,
I guess you're doing engineering stuff now, or?
So I, on and off through my triathlon career, I was hired by multiple companies to do, I did some CFD work. I did some hydrodynamics, aerodynamics work with different companies throughout my career. And, so I've not totally done away with it, but, it was definitely useful. I definitely put it to use. I mean, I studied tribology, which is friction wear and lubrication at Purdue. Mm-hmm. And then kind of got into vehicle dynamics post college, and you put it all together, and that's what made me go fast on the bike.
Gotcha. Okay, so guys, in the beginning, I mentioned that, there's a lot of people out there who do triathlons. These are, next level triathletes, right? So most of us, we suck all at three sports. We suck at swimming, biking, and running, but I think he's an amazing triathlete. So how did you get into starting triathlons? I mean, what was the sport? Did you get like a dream one day? It's like, I'm gonna do this, or was there something that led up to this?
You mean a nightmare?
I know, right?
No. So in high school, I started swimming in high school. I'm not one of those that I started swimming at a young age. I started swimming in high school. So I went from splashing the pool, all the water out of the pool, to
Where was high school?
Stevenson High School in the northwest suburbs. And
that place is an amazing school.
It's a giant.
It's a college. School. It's a university. It's a town. College. I don't know. I've been there before. And wow.
Yeah. Yes. And so I actually, my freshman year was the first year in the new pool. There was an old pool, and then they built this state of the art pool. So I had great facility to train in. And you know, I was a horrible swimmer my freshman year of high school. I had no idea. My mom told me, you're not going to come home and bother your brother and sister. You're going to do some winter sport. And I sucked at basketball. I didn't want to smell people's armpits for wrestling. So,
or their butts.
Looks like swimming it is. So, I started swimming, and, I don't know, something about, the monotony of it, calmed my nerves, and worked hard at it, and had great coaches, and became a pretty good swimmer. Was an All-American high school swimmer by the time I was a senior. And then one of my friends had his uncle put on a triathlon, and so he had gotten into triathlons, and he had tried to convince me to do it, and I was like, no, I'm good. And then finally, senior year, he got smart. He convinced my mom to do it. So if your buddy's doing it and your mom's doing it,
you got to do it.
You do it. So
if mom say you got to
I did it. I beat him, and then didn't do another. I was like, oh, you'd be hooked right away. And I wasn't hooked right away.
But were you biking or running at that point?
No.
You just only swimming?
I was only swimming.
And you went and run and biked and swam and beat your friend?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
natural. That's natural.
No, you just, it's an animal instinct. So, I mean, I found out years after that a lot of the, in soccer, I was a hard worker in every sport I did. And I ended up on a lot of teams that I probably shouldn't have level wise, because I was such a hard worker that the coach was like, even though he doesn't have the skills, kind of
he works hard.
He works really hard, and everybody else is going to run the ladder harder because this guy's on the team. Everybody else is going to, this guy's going to be busting his butt on every drill. So rising tide raises all ships. So I ended up on, pushing a lot of athletes to be better athletes just by being there.
So basically, you're like a rabbit. That's what the coach is saying.
Yes. I would say I had plenty of splinters in my butt on a lot of teams because I sat on the bench a lot. But at practice, it didn't matter. To practice is world championships every single practice. And I mean, I even had coaches that would be like, hey, this isn't world championships. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm earning my spot to play because I've been sitting on the end of that bench for a whole season and I want to play. And so, I mean, that's just been a hard work ethic is, I guess how I was raised. And that's, I carried that through, and I did that in swimming. And then in college, I got cut from the swim team. Coach, when I came in, said there were 20 spots. And then magically there was 19 spots. And he cited Title IX that the basketball or football team needed more players, and the swim team got cut down one, and whatever it was. I was faster than a few guys on the team, but I wasn't on the team. And, I revisited triathlon and cycling at that point. And, that was a Lance Armstrong era.
Yep. A lot of people say that. That's big time.
And, Lance Armstrong was huge in cycling at that point, getting huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was 2000 at that point. So he had just started his rise, and my grandfather had always been a cyclist. There's pictures of him and doing the apple cider century. I found this one picture from, I think, the early 80s, and it's marathon photo. and you've probably done events where it's a marathon photo for the event. And I'm like, they've been around since the early 80s. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So then I just ended up getting into cycling, getting into triathlon, and started working hard at it.
So this was when you were like in college? Or?
Yes. So yeah, 2000 and I think 2001. And then just
so you started
worked hard.
You started from there. You worked hard. So what are some of the races or you have done so far? So you done full Ironman?
Yeah, I've won full Ironman.
Okay, we're gonna get to that. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Don't jump. I know.
I've won full Ironmans. It still surprises me.
Woo,
still surprises me.
We're gonna get to that. Okay, so full. So you've done full, half, international sprints.
Yes.
All right. He said he won. I saw the video. It's on the internet. I saw it. Okay. So for those of the guys who don't understand what a full Ironman is, one, if you don't mind, explain to them the distances, which I know already, what people share it.
Yeah.
And then tell us which Ironman you won, and if you don't mind sharing your time. And I'll explain to you guys, because I have friends who have done some amazing times, and it might be way faster. So let's see.
Okay. So, in triathlon, I would say there's 4 major distances, which you just spoke of. And, everybody talks about Ironman. And Ironman is probably my least favorite distance. But it is the most popular distance and most renowned distance. Chicago Triathlon, which is my favorite distance, which is the Olympic distance or the international distance, is a mile swim, a 25-mile bike, and a 10K run. Favorite distance. I love doing that race. Unfortunately, at the pinnacle, there was always the best athletes in the world yes. would race it. And best I mustered was a top 5. At Chicago. But then there's half and full Ironmans. Half of those two, my favorite, I like the half more than the full, but sponsors and the public more likes the prestige of the full Ironman because they say it's the hardest single day event in the world. It's a 2.4 mile swim, a 112 mile bike, and a marathon, 26.2 miles. You
guys heard that, right? All right. And he has won. Which ones did you win?
So my first was full distance that I won. They call it the full distance because some are Ironman branded,
correct.
Some are non-Ironman branded. Was Rev 3 Cedar Point. So I won that one. I've won Ironman Florida. I've won Ironman Louisville, and then I finished second a bunch of times.
So the Ironman Florida, that was done where? That's in
Panama City.
See, I told you, I have friends. Yes. I have a couple of friends who have done that one. And my friend, Sean, I did that one. So we didn't live in Miami. You have done the Miami Marin or?
I've done them. I finished. I've done the half. There's a half.
Right
in Miami.
So why year did that? What year did you win the Florida one? What year?
I won for. I've actually painted. Ironman Florida is the only event that I've done in my career where I've painted the podium. I finished first, second, and third in that race.
Wow.
In that order.
What year? What year?
So I finished first in 2012, second in 2013, and third in 2019.
So I'm telling you. So I might have heard your name before, but it's not ringing a bell right now because again, I have many friends who are competing and doing Ironman Florida in those years.
Yes. And then I finished second at Miami. It was the year my daughter was born, so 2015.
Man, so I'm telling you, if you finish Miami in 2015, because I was at the finish line in 2015, sure my friends are, you must have run right by me.
Probably.
Crazy world. Crazy world.
So and then Miami that year, it was an incredible day. It poured rain like during the swim, and then it was like beautiful, steamy hot. And I just remember getting out on the run.
And then you go over the bridge on the run, right?
Yes. I remember climbing the bridge and I was just like dying. like, oh my God. And then, you know, one of the other pros, Michael Rowler, a good friend of mine, passed me. And he passed me early, and I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be horrible. And you go down, and it's a double out and back.
Yep, you go down and then come back over the bridge.
You go down, you turn around, and
the Port of Miami Bridge. I think
yes.
that's the one. Yes.
And I run back up the bridge, and like Michael had already passed me, and I'm like, oh my God, if he's that close this early, I'm screwed. And I run all the way over the bridge, and I still didn't see third place, and I'm like dying. Like absolutely dying. And I'm like, oh my God, this, like, I had contemplated dropping out after Michael passed me at like mile 2. And then I got all the way back over the bridge, and like the next person's like 2 miles behind me. And I'm like, okay, you got this. You just need to hold this shit together. Because it was like that's like, people think like just because you're a professional, it's like easy and all this. Like every step and every pedal stroke, it's like, God, I just hope my chain snaps. I hope I get a flat tire. Just put me out of, and I came to the realization later in my career that even if my chain snaps, I'm still going to fix it. I'm going to put myself right back into the hurt locker.
So you
even if I flat, I'm going to fix it and go right back into the hurt locker. But to have that break would be nice. So, but yeah, I mean, that's, you know, you're pushing yourself to the absolute limit, and you're just like, I'm out there on the run, and I'm just like, I'm dying. And then all of a sudden it's like this huge gap, and you're like, okay. Just hold it together.
Wow.
I don't love, see, you love running.
Used to. I love biking now. I used to love running. Running sucks.
I've never loved running.
When I was running, I loved it. That was my thing. I get up in the morning, was it 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock? I think I've mentioned before, you know, I've done 7 marathons in 7 days because it was a fun thing to do. I've done 31 half in 31 days because I won the challenge. And then I received my age in miles on my birthday from 31 to 36. Yeah. And that was fun. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a biker. So biking, running sucks now.
Yeah. I've never found a day where I like want to wake up and run.
Right. No.
Never had that day.
All right. So we need to get into some numbers. So what was your fastest full time?
So 2013, I don't know. I know that I can tell you I was the first American to break 8 hours in an Ironman.
Jesus Christ.
And yeah, I think I was 20th person ever to do it. So it's like the 4-minute mile.
Yeah. So you broke 8 hours in an Ironman.
Yes. With older technology. I mean, now we have like all this beautiful technology. When I did it, it was like much as.
No. I don't know if you guys are watching this. If anybody out there have done Ironman, okay, he broke 8 hours. That is solid effort right there. That means your swim must have been less than 29 minutes.
Well, no, you're 50 minutes.
No, it's 50.
50.
50, right.
2.4 miles.
I'm talking about a half.
Yes.
Right?
So 50
minutes. And your bike split easily over 25 miles an hour. And your marathon probably easy like a 245, 250.
No, I'm slow. I was closer to a 4-hour bike split. Like, so everybody always said, like, so many of the famous professionals always said the perfect Ironman is like a 50 to 55 minute swim, and then a 420 bike, which just puts you at that 25.
Yeah.
And then a 240 marathon. And I came in and I kicked the pendulum. I'm like, why do you want to bike so slow? So I went out and I started riding a 4-hour bike split or a 405 and then running a 3-hour run.
Which is still.
Yeah. So.
Listen, I have a friend, Kobe Morales, and he did 9:23. And I'm thinking that's the fastest.
9:23 is very good.
Yeah. And I thought that was the coolest person. Still is. But you broke 8 hours.
Yes.
Multiple
times.
That is legit, man.
Wow.
And this is my friend Tony and Sean. For guys who are watching this, guys, this is next level. I am shit man again, please. Because I have friends who do this event. My wife did Ironman Wisconsin.
Okay.
And she broke 13 hours.
Yeah.
And for her, that was like.
Which year did she do it?
2008, I think.
Oh, okay. So she was an early one.
She was a youngin when she did it. Was it 2008? Yeah, about that. I remember it's somewhere up there, somewhere in the background. And she averaged like over 18 or something like that. And she thought she killed it, right? Because
Yeah.
for the normal people, for when it comes to Ironman, it's basically you swim, you bike, and you walk the marathon. Isn't that what people
I mean,
say?
there's a lot.
Wow.
There's a lot of it.
You broke 8 hours.
Yeah.
I would never have thought I would ever meet somebody in my life who broke 8 hours, because that was at one point, that was like the holy grail.
Yeah, that was, I mean, Jürgen Zach was the first one to do it. And then, now it's like the 4-minute mile. Now you can find, now you walk around, you can find a few more people who've done it. There's not many.
Exactly.
There's a few more now than there was. I don't even know how many there was, but I think I was like the 20th or 19th, 20th, 21st, something like that, person to do it. And like now you like look at like the equipment that you had when you did it.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, when I did it, I didn't have a power meter on the bike.
You're going all guts. It's all guts and instinct.
I have a heart rate monitor, and I knew as long
as you had an odometer on your bike or anything, or just
no. I went by time and heart rate. That's. I mean, through most of my career, when we got into power meters, probably closer to 2016, 2017, and using power and racing with power, stuff really didn't change. I said, you have just another knob. I said, you have 3 knobs. You have your power, you have your heart rate, and you have your cadence. And you got to keep each of those in a window. And if one of those starts feeling off, you got to look at the other 2 and figure out what's going on. And you turn that knob a little bit, and you just try to keep everything in balance. But before you did that, you just had heart rate, and you just watch your heart rate, and you kind of occasionally, you got your running clock and check your cadence by 6 seconds. You pedal 12, 15 times, and depending on where you want to be cadence wise, and that's how we ran.
Wow.
And now it's like we're overwhelmed with all this information. Honestly, I don't like it. I like the simplicity. Like the sport has changed, and I like the simplicity.
So for the coaches and stuff who have all the different metrics and stuff, for them, they might need it for their own stuff. Plus, it can lead to like some scientific discovery and all these different things, I guess, with all these numbers and understanding things. But before we even get to that, let me kind of explain to anybody. When you say that when the 20th person to break 8 hours, so the first person to break the mile and record is Roger Bannister, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then after he broke it, within a week or 2 or so, there's a bunch of guys who literally run a sub 4-minute mile. He's the equivalent of somebody breaking 8 hours, and he's basically one of the guys who followed Roger Bannister. That is next level.
Yeah.
Like I'm still sitting here thinking about the work it goes into, and breaking 8 hours. Even though you watch the Sanders and all these guys, Lander or whatever those guys doing, so you're like, these guys are like doing X time.
Yeah.
But you broke 8 hours, man.
and here's the best part,
guys. And he's in Chicago. We have him here. 8 hours.
I lived here. I trained here, and I'm not in like all these people. Like you look at we brought in Lionel. He like does 90% of his training indoors. I do like 5%. Like
okay. I was just asking.
Even the winters, I'm training outside.
Okay, so all right. So what is your training regimen like? For nutrition?
Now?
Back then.
Okay.
Did you have a coach?
Yes.
Like, okay, so please explain. Because I'm still like, when I tell my wife he broke 8 hours, when I tell my wife that I had somebody who I interview who break 8 hours in Ironman, she might say, I'm going to divorce you and go be this person. Yeah, because my wife is like a legit fanatic.
Yeah.
Okay. So explain, yeah.
I mean, a normal day is, I've always been a morning person. I've never been a person to sleep in. I'm up well before the sun rises. And so generally it's 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'm up and do core. I've always said that my biggest asset as an athlete is my resilience. And it's the resilience, not just to the beating of, not just my ability to do the workouts, but it's to come back day after day after day without breaking down. So, I do a lot of core. I do a lot of, balance stuff, a lot of stretching in the morning. And then after breakfast, you do breakfast is generally 6 a.m. or so. So it's relative. And generally I like starting the day with a swim, get a swim in, and then depending on whatever the quality workout of the day, you start that about 10 or 11 o'clock. And whether it be the bike or the run. And then if you do a third workout in the day, you can do that after usually about 4 o'clock. And in between, it's eat and sleep.
And how many days a week was this?
7.
This is before family.
No, even when I had kids. I mean, again, I integrated recovery days, even workout days. We lived in Wakanda, and my daughter was in daycare in Libertyville, and I would put her in the trailer and bike 12 miles on trails to the daycare center.
Something that's popped in my head, and I'm trying to remember if it's you or somebody else who lives here who have the fastest split on a full Ironman. Do you know the person I'm talking about?
Where?
That the person that works out somewhere in Wakanda, because
that was me. That was me.
Guys, I am in the presence of greatness, and I'm gonna tell you something. My wife's uncle, and if you know the name, Matt Williams, he works out with you. You probably don't know him.
Okay.
But he said one day, if I ever talk to anybody in this world, there's a guy that lives in Wakanda that did Ironman, who have the fastest Ironman split on the bike. I need to talk to you and meet you.
Yeah, that would be me.
This is 8 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're here. I'm talking to you like you're the guy.
It's a small world.
Jesus.
It's a small world.
I'm telling you, Matt Williams, I'm not even making this up, and my wife, Nicole, because my wife, she was actually biking in Wakanda.
Yeah.
And Matt said you would come in the gym, my uncle, and he would see you, probably try to want to talk to you, but never get a chance to talk to you.
Okay.
And he mentioned your name before.
Yeah.
And here you are.
Yeah.
Life is a beautiful thing. And when the universe put things together, it does come together. Because I'm telling you this.
Now
stuff.
it's all adding up.
We never spoke about this before, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you that we mentioned the person with the fastest bike split lives somewhere in Wakanda, because he lives in Wakanda. He lives right on the lake, close to the restaurant. What's the name of the restaurant?
Docks or Lindy's?
Docks. No. Which other one?
Lindy's.
Yes. So if you go on Lindy's and you go about a little bit down in front of the taco shop, he lives right across in that neighborhood in a duplex right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know exactly where
Matt Williams.
Yeah.
And Cecilia, when she was alive. That's their husband and wife.
Okay.
So, and he mentioned you.
Yeah.
Man, this is the wickedest. This is crazy. Okay. Please state what I just said. You're the person for Ironman who has the fastest split on the bike.
Yes.
That's you.
Yes. Yes. I'm waiting. The next question is always the same. I'm waiting for the next question.
No, I don't. I'm just like tears.
People always ask me this. It's like, do you know what your average power was?
No, because you didn't have anything. So I'm going to ask you because right.
So the original ones, the first time, 2012, going into 2012, I was making 2011, I won Cedar Point, which was a full. And I was kind of I got word that the end of the Lifetime series was imminent. And so I got tipped off that I needed to transition to the longer distance if I wanted to continue to be a pro. Because Lifetime, which is how I made my living from 2009 when I left Caterpillar to 2011. And then before that, I was only doing Olympic distance. I wasn't an instant Ironman athlete like most athletes now. So, I didn't do my first full until I was almost 30, where many of the pros now are 20 and they're doing fulls. It blows my mind. I'm like, there's no way my body would be destroyed, worse than it is. And so 2012, I go overseas and race Abu Dhabi, and I get in a horrific accident, end up in jail. Bad story. No, in race, a volunteer walked out in front of me and I collided with her and she ended up in a coma and they pinned me for attempted manslaughter. And so I ended up in jail and it took me a while to get back out of jail. And
you're in a race on a close course.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was one of the volunteers. It was just a really crappy situation. And so I spent the summer, just rehabbing. I had to have shoulder surgery. When I crashed, I pushed the head of the humerus through the labrum in my right shoulder. So I had to have my shoulder rebuilt and then spent the summer rehabbing. But during that summer, I went and just trained all summer, transitioning from being a short course athlete to a long course athlete. So I was 2 or 3 times a week. I was walking I walked 1,000 miles that spring because I'm in a sling. I can't do it. I'm riding a bike, one hand on the trail, probably right by your father-in-law and uncle-in-law.
Yeah.
Right by your uncle-in-law and riding those trails like this with the air sling or whatever it's called. And then, the record at that time was a 4:12 for a full bike split. And I'm just like, I just started telling people 4 weeks out, I'm like, I'm going to destroy that. Like everything. Cause I would go to my secret sauce was going to the velodrome up and in Northbrook because it's open.
Yeah. And let's do your thing.
Yeah. And I would just go there. I'd do workouts and, on your training bike, you have a power meter and, I'm going there and I do an hour at power, the power that I think I'm going to do. And, granted training rims are, your aluminum box rims at that point. I'm holding 330, 340 watts for an hour and just, taking off 27 to 28 miles. And I'm like, this is something I can do. And so I went out there and I knew where my heart rate needed to be. And I set it, I can't be above 145. And I just went out there and executed.
That's like zone 2.
Well, yeah.
That's zone 2 heart rate for most people.
Well, so for me, I'm a diesel. I'm a low heart rate guy. But yeah, I went out there and 406. So all of a sudden you knock 6 minutes, or no, 404. I went at 404. Yeah. So you knocked 8 minutes off. And then I ran I was on pace to do about a 302, so 7-minute pace. And then, at that final turnaround 10K from the end, you realize I got the gap. You just don't screw this up. It's like one of those, it's like, you some of my people are always under the misunderstanding. I was known that Andrew Starykowicz can't run fast. And granted, I'm not the best runner. I run like a monkey that's being chased by a police officer. It's like, oh my God. And so a lot of the times, I'm at the end of the race. If I got a gap, I'm nursing it. I'm not, there's first is first, whether you're an inch or a mile,
first
I'm throttling back. Cause it's like, I've seen the horror stories of people just absolutely detonating in the final miles. And I've been very close. I remember Ironman Louisville in 2017, I won. But I was I had an immense lead late in the race. And my legs were just completely giving out. Quads cramped, hamstrings were cramped. I couldn't my hip flexors. I could barely shuffle. And I'm like, you just gotta keep moving.
Just keep moving.
Keep moving. Anything walking. I couldn't walk. So it's like, how do I move? And you're like, bend. And then my coach was at that race and he was biking and they're like, hey, is the guy in the red, white, and blue kit come by? They're like, yeah, the guy with the lead bike, he was screaming and bent over. He's like, well, where is he? I don't know. He's hobbling up there a little bit. And my coach bikes up. He looks at me and he says, he looked at me and he says, oh, I knew not to say anything. You were just in a world.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So you haven't done Madison, Wisconsin?
I have.
What year was that?
17.
17. Wow.
So,
man, I'm still here. Just can't believe that you're the person that I was told about 6-7 years ago, and here you are, sitting right next to me. Wow.
Yeah. Again,
I had no idea it was you by then. I'm serious. I had no idea it was you.
Well,
Because the name just wasn't clicking in my mind.
Well, it's yeah, that was me. I'm humbled by it. I mean,
I'm repeating myself, but you don't understand. When I tell Matt and my wife, they're gonna flip that shit out. Okay, all right, man. All right. So we get that out of the way that you're the person that I was supposed to meet, the universe I should have met a long time ago. So you did all that stuff. So like, for example, when that happened to you in Abu Dhabi, how did it affect you psychologically? I want to know, like later on in your race, how was that impacted when you go on the bike and you see volunteers? Because
that again, I think things happen in life in an order and a sequence for a reason. I think 2012 prepared me for 2016. In 2016, I got run over and dragged under a truck. And, you come back and yes, there was after the Abu Dhabi thing, you're going into an aid station and you see a volunteer on course, you're just like, they're here to help you. And then, and after you get run over, I got really bad run over in 16. There's pictures online. It's ugly.
I think I've seen that picture. It was you're right next to a bike path where you're on the road. Is that
no,
that's somebody else? Okay, never mind.
That was a different one. Okay. No, it was quiet country road, and some guy was meeting his buddies for golf and was a little late and just decided to run me over. So he didn't have a license, didn't own the vehicle, didn't have insurance. It was great. So yeah, that's again the biggest lesson. If I can tell anybody anything, increase your uninsured. If you're a cyclist of any magnitude, increase your uninsured motorist policy, because that is your only crutch. If you get a hit and run, if you have an accident, if somebody's not insured, that is your only thing that you have.
You guys hear that?
Yeah, you could call the UIM policy. Make sure you have at least $500,000, at least, because that's all. Again, everybody's like, you hear of cyclists getting hit, and sometimes they get, the driver, or sometimes, they get a settlement or something, and other times you get nothing. There's nothing, and your only thing is, you're left with medical bills, and so yeah, if you have, I wish I would have known. People are like, oh yeah, you get, everybody wants basic insurance. You want cheap insurance, but if you ride a bike, especially in the roads these days, up your UIM to at least $500,000.
From the man himself, he knows what he's talking about. So please take his advice.
Yeah,
not likely, please, guys. Now I need to start thinking about these things because I'm on the road and I've seen some wild stuff happening. Yeah. So I need to start thinking about stuff like that.
Yeah. Because it's again, 2005, 2007, like when I started riding on the road on the lot, it's a different world out there. Back then a distracted driver was a mom turning around, swinging at her kids in the back seat, telling them to behave.
Yeah.
And now nobody pays attention. I'm not an angel. I sometimes catch myself looking down at my phone, but it's you're out there, and there's a lot of people, and you just look around when you're driving on the highway. You're driving 70 miles an hour. You're going 100 feet per second.
Yeah, just like this.
People are looking down for and it takes 300 feet. Takes you 3 seconds to come to a complete stop. Okay, so you're looking down. It takes you 4 seconds to stop once and it's like.
It's too late.
Yeah, and so it's a different world. But
so you've had your share of crashes and
but getting back from that one, what happened in Abu Dhabi was very sad, very scary. But I think it definitely mentally prepared me and allowed me to come back from the 2016 crash, because that one I had thoracic fractures, my lower leg was severed, and they. On the scene, they were talking about it would have needed to be amputated because the bone was exposed. There's pictures online. It's one of the most gory pictures you'll ever see. But I didn't think I'd ever race again. And then somehow I came back and won races after it.
So are you still racing these days, or mainly like at triathlon level?
So I retired at the end. I tore my hip flexor midway through 2024. I was running downhill in a race, and I was second place trying to catch a kid that's a bunch of years younger that hadn't beaten me to this point, Jack Moody. I mean, I've raced him since he was in his teen years, and now he's in his mid-20s, and it's like, this kid never beat me, and he's ahead of me, and I'm like, I'm this kid's gonna beat me, but I just don't want to get totally embarrassed. So I'm running downhill, and I felt something like twinge in my hip, and then I hit flat ground. So we're running downhill on pavers, and then we hit flat ground, and like all of a sudden I'm like I have no forward momentum. Like I'm trying. I'm like, and I go from running in the 540s, and now I'm running like 640 is on, like I'm still on the downhill, and then I hit the flat, and it's like 820, 830.
Ooh, yeah.
And I'm like, something's
off.
Something's not right. And I'm like, difference. I'm trying like all the, I talk about everything. It's like a bunch of little handles, and I'm like trying all my little different handles. Like, how can I generate speed? Am I sweeping? My weight? Can I adjust my weight? How my weight balances on my feet? And nothing. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I found out afterwards I had tore my hip flexor.
Did you finish second?
No, I finished fifth. But somehow on 10, that was at 5K into a half. So I finished 10 miles with like just ungodly slow, horrible running. Like, again, I didn't even know what I was doing. Like, I didn't know what was wrong. Like, I would great first 5K, and then all of a sudden it's like something's wrong. And it's like, but I mean, I don't know. When you invest a certain amount in something, it makes it that much harder to quit.
100%.
Like people say, oh, I dropped out of the race because I just wasn't feeling it today. And it's just like, to me, that was a foreign concept. I mean, I've raced sick. I've raced injured. I've raced eyes popping out of my head. There's pictures of me. I mean, I raced with the flu in Oceanside one year.
Well, I think that's the difference between somebody who understands what grit means and somebody who don't. I think you definitely understand it, because I've seen people who I know back to the race with them, they were faster than me and everything fitter.
Yeah.
But something happened to them and they give up. And I'm like, I'm not gonna give up, because I got grit, and I'm gonna push through this thing.
Yeah.
Because what I realized when I was running, even now in a sprint or whatever,
yeah,
if I'm hurting, you're hurting.
Yes. That's
So who can take the most pain?
Yeah,
will always be the one who comes out on top.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, people always, a lot of people have told me that, I'll suffer like nobody else, and I'm like, again, I don't know how much anybody else is suffering.
Exactly, we don't know.
Like people are like, like people that say, I love the moniker that people say, I train harder than anybody else. I'm like, how do you know how hard I train?
What does that mean?
Like, yeah, it's like I love, so it's something like people always say, he trains harder than anybody else. I'm like, how do you know how hard anybody else trains?
Yeah, whether you do 20 hours or 15 hours or 2 hours, hard is subjective. And it's also based on the person's physiology and all these other mental aspect of things. There's a lot of things that goes into training hard anyway. So, yeah.
I mean, again, it's the biggest thing that I think, when it comes to racing it's like, people always, when you're racing and you're in the heat of battle, it's like, do you love winning or do you hate losing? And to me, that was the biggest one for me. It's like, I loved to win, but I think that was fueled by my hatred
for losing.
To lose. Like, I hate losing to people.
Ricky Bobby.
And I see it in my son. I see it in my daughter. And it's like, oh, this is so bad. It's like, oh my God. I mean, it's great.
Good qualities to have. Yeah.
Yes, especially in this day and age where, like, I mean, I remember, so, I went to my daughter's when she was in first grade, so much younger than she is now. When I went to her field day, and the teacher's like, they're playing this game where it involves like a volleyball net, and they're throwing the ball back and forth. And the boys are on one side and the girls are on the other side. The boys are all throwing the ball at my daughter, Cassie. And Cassie keeps catching the ball and throwing it back at him. And then the teacher's like, Cassie, you have to let your friends catch the ball.
They can catch it if they want.
So Cassie catches the ball and gives it to one of her friends. And then because the boys keep throwing it at her. And she's like, Cassie, you have to stop catching the ball. So my daughter went over and sat down in the corner. And the teacher's like, get up and play. She says, you told me I can't. And I'm like, this is first grade. And I'm like, oh God.
She got it from her pops.
I'm like, all right. I'm like, yep, the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 3. 3 kids, 4 dogs.
What's the age?
So my wife and I were on the every other year plan. So we have, now we're moving to the odd years, I think. Yeah. So we're half and half right now. So we're 12-year-old dogs, 10-year-old boy, 10-year-old girl, 9-year-old boy, 6-year-old girl. And then we skipped COVID and then we have 2-year-old dogs. So, yeah, we have a full house.
Wow, that's a lot. I got 4 kids at home and that's a lot for me, but no dogs for me. No pets, no nothing.
Yeah.
I try to be big dog.
They're my therapist.
Hey,
they're my therapist. I mean, they keep me sane. They listen. They don't talk back.
And they're loyal.
As long as I feed them. As long as they feed them. And they bring me home presents too. I love them. And that's the thing is like you have young kids and when they were young, it's like they see the dog bring back a squirrel. And I'm like, dude, that's a trophy. So now my daughter is like,
that's a rite of passage there.
My daughter's like, yep, they brought home a trophy. I'm like, good. Like garbage can, and then you try to chase them around the yard, and I'm running around the yard, and there's 4 dogs just playing hide and seek with me of who's got it. So whether it's a bird or a squirrel or a rabbit, it's fun.
So are your kids into sports like biking, or are they thinking about doing anything? Or
so yeah, I mean,
up to the name.
Yeah, I know. Again, if it was up to me, I would encourage my kids not to do triathlon. I hate to say it. Even though, I mean, I've ridden it to the top. It's the game's changed. It's not the same. I was very fortunate to live in the time where triathlon was the way it was in the time. And, I mean, I was at the end of print media. I loved print media. They print, hey, we're going to print your picture. We're going to run you with our ad and you get paid. And now it's like, you do your own social media.
Yeah.
You do your own social media and we will pay you. And I mean, at the end of my career, I was getting sponsors that were coming to me and they're like, okay, how many people are currently following you? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, well, so I'd have to go. I'd literally be on the phone. I'd be like, okay, on Twitter, I have this many. On X, I have this many. On Instagram, I have this. And on Facebook, I have this. And they're like, okay, well, what's your social media plan? I'm like,
what?
My social media plan? And they wouldn't even ask me about my race plan. And it's like, this is what the whole media thing has moved to. And it's money. Like, yeah. And it's not about, I mean, I had sponsors not even ask me about, what are you doing for racing this year? It's like, how are you going to promote our product? And before, when I started in this game, it was you perform, the sponsors come to you, or you go to the sponsors. Hey, here's my deliverable is I'm performing.
The end.
And, yeah. And
that's it.
And this is, it's a symbiotic relationship. You perform, the sponsor's happy. Now you can perform. And if you're not doing all this stuff on social media, you don't get, you get paid for social media and you don't get paid for performing. And it's, I don't know. It's,
the culture
I don't like
shift. The culture, which is, I mean, I don't like it either because I mean, I remember this is no joke. When I lived in Miami, I had friends who were lawyers, doctors, make good money, good living, live in nice place, doing good for themselves.
Yeah.
And they'll go on dates and the girl asks them, so how many followers do you have on Instagram? It's like, I don't know, 200-300? Oh, I have like 20,000. We can't be friends.
Mm.
What? You have somebody who have his life together.
Yeah.
Right? And the judgment is on how many people follow them on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live in. But we're not going to beat on those people too much because this is more about talking about you and biking and stuff. But it's a good point. I see it, and so I'm happy that my wife pick me because I don't have a lot of followers and all the different things. She picked me for me. So yeah.
And again, that's the world has changed.
Yeah, it's changed.
This is the current world we're in, and I'm sure in 20 years or 15 years when the kids grow up, it's going to be completely different.
Exactly. Exactly.
Again, I think my kids are involved in sports, and I think it's great because I think the biggest thing that you learn in sports, especially at a young age, is team building. That people have different skills. And you're going to be good at some things, and other people are being good at other things, and you have to work together.
Correct.
For a common goal. Because it doesn't matter how awesome you are. If you're awesome, that's great, but you're going to do all the work. So, and you may not win. So you have to, you have to be that rising tide that raises all ships, work together.
Classic example, Michael Jordan outscore everybody, but they still didn't win.
Then he went out and found Dennis Rodman and pulled in the defense.
Point taken. See?
And he went out, and you got to find the tools to make it successful. And that's one thing that Michael was adamant about as an athlete, was putting the tools around him. I mean, and you look at like even Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong had the tools around him. Every single tour that they did, that whole team, like people will criticize the doping and all that. And that's a conversation that can go forever.
Right.
But you look at that team made it equipment, athletes to Paris almost every year. They had 8-9 riders, Paris every year. Yeah. When other teams are bringing 4 riders home.
And then again, you look at even what like Tadej Pogacar and Vingegaard, all these guys are doing. Like if you have the teammates, I mean, I've seen, I forgot his name. He made this ridiculous pull at the end to take his body to the top. Wow. And I'm like, do you guys understand what this guy just did for his teammate?
Right.
And people don't see that.
And it takes a community to do any of this. I mean, even us to go out for a ride, I got to talk to my wife. You got to talk to your wife. It takes a community.
And when you go on the bike ride, you talk to your friends with the group you're riding. Okay, I'm gonna take a pull. I can go back and take a breather, and I can do all different things. It takes community, and that's something which is important to even when you talk about the Seeds and Stones Roubaix. Like it takes everyone to come together. I mean, people tell you no, and then we found a nice place, and now it's working, and I think it's great.
But that's also, I mean, getting back to that event. I did the whole gravel scene in the final 2 or 3 years of my career. I was fortunate to have a few good sponsors that were like, hey, you understand it's the end of your career. They let me a little more leash. I was able to do all the classics. I did Unbound. I did the hell is it? I did it twice. I don't know. I was stupid to do it the first time. Big Sugar. Big Sugar. And then I did a couple other gravel events, BWR Kansas. So people don't realize how freaking hard, triathlon's hard, but cycling, so triathlon for size, I swim, so I'll swim, 110 per 100, which for 2.4 miles. And then I'll bike at 330 to 340 watts for 4 hours, and then somehow muster a marathon. Don't know how that happened. And now you do that for a bunch of years. And then all of a sudden you take this old diesel and you put it in with all these young guys racing gravel. So at BWR Kansas, we took off. It was like rocket sleds on rails. And I mean, we got 2.5 hours in. We're nearly 60 miles in, and we go to this first single track section through the woods. It's basically a hiking path that they made a bike path for one day or for one weekend. And I remember looking down, it's 2.5 hours into the race. I looked down, normalized power 385. And I'm like, and my heart rate, I was pegged. I'm at 160, I'm like at 169, 170. And I'd been riding there forever, just like suffering on the back like a dog. And then all of a sudden we got into single track. And I'm like, I'm just going to try to keep the bike upright. I lost 8 minutes and 8 miles in single track. But again, that's, these guys are gas, off the gas, on the gas, off the gas. I've been a time trialist I've trained myself time trialing for 15 years, but to get back in and start doing that was a lot of fun for a couple
Oh yeah,
years.
we're not spring chicken anymore, so you have to factor that into it. We're not spring chickens no more.
But that's why, having to drive 12, 15 hours to these gravel events, I'm like, dude, I remember riding gravel like this close to home. That was awesome. So that was like part of the inspiration of getting Seeds and Stones going, was it's like all these guys from Chicagoland, which is a huge cycling community, and Milwaukee and Madison, all huge cycling communities. We have gravel like this right here. You don't need to drive 8 hours up to northern.
And this is why I've encouraged my friends who are bike with, like, guys, we can just literally go out west a little bit.
Yeah.
And go like in the Savannah, the Galena, the Maline, the Clinton, like Thompson.
Yep.
And have these amazing roads to ride on. Sterling, Dix. It's right in our backyard.
Yeah.
And I really hope one day they have like some amazing road race in Western Illinois, because we have like some amazing roads. I think my wife's from Sterling.
Okay.
So I've biked in those areas a lot. And I'm like, you can go for miles and miles, no stop signs, no stop light, maybe 10 cars maybe might pass you.
So in the fall, so one of the things I've done over my career that I've really enjoyed I used to do training camps. And over my
coach?
I don't. I've done it a few times, but coaching, when I've done the coaching, I almost feel like it almost becomes babysitting to a lot of people. Like if I found a high level athlete, I'd love to coach him. Or if somebody who just wants, hey, you know what, just send me a couple of workouts and I'll do them. But a lot of the people are like, okay, I want you to write workouts tailored to my lifestyle, and I want to pay you $100 a month. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, okay. You don't have me sold yet. And we talk about it. And then, I write you a couple of workouts, and it goes a month or two, and you do like one workout a week. And I'm like, I don't think we want to do this. But no, so what I'm more passionate about is like training trips. And so I used to train like a pro with pros and get together a bunch of pro triathletes and sometimes pro runner or pro cyclist, and go out to a location and you train, and just have a training camp, 4-day training camp. Because
where would this be?
Some of them were nearby. Some, we did in Madison, where we do like North Carolina is always a favorite. Get them out in the mountains, or you do like. So now people just like, by the time you get to mid-February, people are so done with riding indoors. You get an early trip to Tupelo in March.
You get Zwift fatigue.
Yes. so like this year, I'm doing a group, and I've throttled it back over the years, because I've found that less and less people are at the level that I was at, and now it's just it's more of a social thing. Like we have 4 days, 70 miles a day, and we ride point to point. Basically, we ride down to Tupelo and then back up to Nashville. 4 days in early March, and people are so ready to get outside. And normally we get like one day where it's like short sleeve shorts weather, and everybody's like, this is the best thing ever. So like early March, I have that ride. And then I've also, one of the other things in September, generally when the leaves are changing, a group of us will jump the Amtrak from Union and take it out to Princeton. And
Princeton is nice, real nice place.
So you ride Princeton, and then you ride out to the Mississippi River, up through the Mississippi Palisades, and then back to Chicago. 3-day ride. Spectacular. And we do that in the fall.
So I camp a lot. So because of camping, all this we're talking about, I know along the Mississippi River, right? And the trail right there, I know the trail very, very well. Because we camp a lot in Thompson. Okay. Not too far from the prison.
Yeah.
Thompson Causeway, there's a prison. Take pictures. I camp right in front of that one sometimes.
Okay.
we go to the Palisades.
Yes.
Which is right outside of Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done all the camping over there. We have camped in, let me see, where else in the area? We've done like Rockwood State Park.
Yes.
All those areas.
Yes.
Those are my
beautiful
backyards.
roads.
One of my favorite places to bike, as I always say, if you ever bike it, please check it out. It's 14 miles of riding. That takes you right down into the bike path. It's called Fairhaven.
Fairhaven? I don't know the road. Okay.
If you can ever bike Fairhaven, please. You'll be like, it's just rollers like this.
Oh, wow.
For 14 miles.
There's some roads out there. Yeah. I mean, there's some roads out there. So when you get out west like that.
Mount Corral, if you know the area.
You get in the Mississippi River Valley. There are those beautiful rollers. And But even closer than that is if you go up northwest. So you go up towards like Elkhorn, Wisconsin, you get the end of the Kettles and you have that same rolling. Yes, it's not quite as high. They're only like 200 to 250 foot climbs instead of 700 feet out there, but you just get that. It's closer to home for us, and you just get the nice rollers, and it's just
one day. Wow, amazing! I still can't believe I'm here with you, man.
So you mountain bike, right?
Not really.
You have a mountain bike.
I have a mountain bike, which is at my in-laws' house, which we typically just do like night rides.
Okay.
Along the Hennepin Canal.
Yeah.
In Sterling.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And I've gone to Alinawick.
Okay. Yeah.
I've done Low Thunder Forest Preserve.
Okay.
And I've done Kettle Moraine. But I'm not because those are only when I do camping trips.
Okay.
Then I'll take my mountain bike, I would do that stuff. But now I'm mainly road biking. Not a lot of gravel, because to get to gravel and have enough family, it's kind of tough on work. But if I could, I would.
Do you have you been much on the Des Plaines River Trail?
Not as much. Yeah.
Okay.
Not as much.
Oh, I've lived down there.
We have done every once a year or twice a year. We do when leaves are changing.
Yeah.
We bike until it ends, and then we come back this way. So we bike with Cartado. I do that with some of those guys, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I've only been biking for 5 years now, so I got a long way to go. I'm new to the sport.
Yeah.
Very, very, very new to the sport.
People talk about the cost of entry for cycling, and I'm like, I think that's like the biggest. People always like, oh, you got to have this, you got to have this, you got to have this, and it's like, okay, I was a professional, and like I look at 90% of my bikes are like the entry line. I am like 105 components. I am mechanical disc brake. I would still be rim brake if they would have let me at the end of my career. I mean, again, you spin a disc brake bike every single time you hear that zip, zip, zip. Like,
yep, the rotator's rubbing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, even if it's perfect before the race, after the race, it's zip, zip. You're like,
yeah. So how many bikes do you have, by the way? Since you're talking about your bikes, how many bikes do you have?
Too many. I have every bike that I have ridden every bike that Roubaix built between 2009 and current. So I don't have them, but I have been on them, and some of them I have. But
so that was your sponsored biking?
Yeah. So I connected with Roubaix in 2009, and I had the longest as a professional athlete in any sport. I had the longest for a period of time. I've spent 15 years as a professional athlete, sponsored by one company.
Wow.
So we had a great relationship. I was sponsored also for 15 years by Vision, which is at full FSA Vision. The parts have come a long way. I used to warp chain wings back in the early days in the 2005.
Too much power.
Well, no, there was carbon fiber. It was like when everybody was first playing with carbon fiber, and like, yeah, there was.
So you were basically a guinea pig in the era of testing how this thing would perform.
Yes, I actually went to Purdue, and Zip was just down the street, and Zip would, we had a great relationship with Purdue, and I got a set of Zip wheels, and I was blowing spokes on my Zip wheel. It was tubular at that time, and you pissed off. You're like, okay, we'll replace it. This is the last time, because we have prizes in the Pro Tour that aren't even breaking spokes. I'm like, no, I'm riding crits, college crits. I'm racing college road races.
Crit races.
In college, I did crit racing. I got into triathlon. I did the college cycling season. So, I mean, senior year, I did cycling nationals, and that was, again, it was.
You've done it all, like when it comes to cycling, like every discipline, basically.
I mean, a few of the guys that I rode with, they went over and raced Pro Continental after college in Europe, just trying to make it.
Have you heard of the name Bryce Mead before? No?
Maybe. I don't.
He was a pro cyclist. He wrote for Jelly Belly. I featured him on the channel before.
Bryce Mead.
He owns Mead's bike in Sterling. They have several different locations.
Okay.
In Rockford, and they mainly sell trek bikes, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I don't.
Beast.
I'm sure at some point we crossed.
I wouldn't be surprised, because he was Jelly Belly. He's more kind of a breakaway guy for them. He's
Okay.
about 6'3", I think.
Yeah.
Big dude. But
Yeah.
can't climb for nothing, but yeah.
That's me.
But he's a big dude.
That's me. I mean, I
He's
spent
more TT.
again, I spent most of my career just finding courses. I mean, that was the biggest thing. The biggest thing I learned in my career was this, like, you have to specialize. And flat and fast courses. I got very good at getting down in an aero position and just tapping out a constant pace. And I mean, I could handle the bike well. So, if anybody, coming out of swim, I'd be close to people, and generally you're getting out of town. And I got very good at going very fast in municipal areas, and kind of, a few times you get that belly button to your spinal cord. You're like, ooh, you made that. And Orbea, granted their bikes weren't the most aero, but their bikes handled like a road bike. I mean, that was something. They're from the heart of the Pyrenees. They want a bike that handles. And that was one of the things I would get away coming out of a town. Like, immediately people were like, well, how'd you get away so quick? I'm like, I don't know. I just got out of town. And, I'd get aero and just tap out a constant rhythm and settle down. And as long as there's nobody on my wheel, I don't need to surge.
Gotcha. So you transition from, say, we're talking about right like 19 millimeters. So now, what's your sweet spot millimeter out on the road now? Is it you're a 28 guy, 30? What are you riding now?
I mean, I hardly ride on the road. Ever since 2016, I'm largely all gravel. I mean, and
is Zwifting still outside still?
No, I do Zwift. So interesting story. 2014, a mutual friend connects me with this guy named Eric. And he says, Eric's going to call you. And I'm like, what's he talking? He's got this idea. I think it's the biggest thing in cycling. I'm like, I've heard this before. So Eric calls me and he introduces himself, and he's talking about this idea to make it a video game, like, smart trainers. Like, no, we're not. I'm like, CompuTrainers? No, like, not CompuTrainer. I'm talking like video game. And so I started talking, and we did a few phone calls, and then he offered, you want buy-in on it, and I'm like, what's buy-in? And I don't even remember what the number was. I'm like, I'm a triathlete. I'm not a bank, and I should have sold everything I owned, because it was Eric Min. And
I was just want to say, is that Eric Min you're talking about?
Yes, it was Eric Min. And, we did a bunch of phone calls. And I mean, everybody laughs whenever I call them at Zwift, because my account number is so low. Like, I'm like a 3 or 4 digit account number. And like, now they're in like 7 digit accounts and 8 digit account numbers. He pitched that idea to me, and I was like, I'll help you develop it. I said, I'll help you develop it. But I'm an outside guy. And then a year later I got run over. And, that's when I started to do more and more on Zwift, was after, I got run over. And
do you still talk to Eric?
Blessing. I touch base with him here and there. We see each other at some events.
That's pretty wild, because I learned some about how he came up with Zwift, and then he find the guy that was actually having the program to this virtual world, and they all come together. And you could have been a part of that.
You
were a part.
Yeah, I was pitching ideas, and we were talking about different ideas, and like, what would you look for in a program like this? And I'm like, well, you want a 5K course? Like, you want a 5K time trial course? Because to me, like, a 5K time trial course is, you're looking at 3 miles. That's about a 10-minute time trial. And most people, you're going to, on an easy ride, that's going to be a half hour. You're perfect. I mean, that's where you want to be.
Wow.
And you put some mountains in an elevation. And so that's largely the hilly loop was one of the things that we discussed, that with that original loop in Watopia, which was the original loop that goes around the island. It's got that sprint on it, and it's got the hill climb.
Oh, that would be TikTok, maybe.
I don't know. I think it's the hill, whatever the
hilly loop.
The main loop in Zwift is, you go around, you go up the climb, down around the backside, and
is it a new loop?
No, it's the original. It's the original. I think I have a picture on my phone of, like,
How many miles?
I think it's only I don't know, 2 or 3.
2 or 3 miles?
2 points. It might be 4. I don't know. It's whatever the main loop is, the original. It's before they started adding stuff onto it.
I've ridden every route in Zwift. That's that keep my brain together.
You've done the PRL full or whatever it is.
I've done them all.
You've done the one in England that's 104 or 106 miles?
I've done them all. I've done every route.
You have something wrong with you. You have something wrong with you.
It took me by myself. It took me 6 hours and 9 minutes by myself.
Okay.
Not an event. I was by myself.
Yeah.
I have done every route in every world on Zwift.
Okay.
That's available.
I have not.
In the drop down.
I have not.
So all mine are green. No, I have no gray.
Okay.
They're all green.
Oh, they keep adding a few here and there. So
and as they come out, I find them and I do them.
Yeah. So, question: your height and weight on Zwift, 100%?
100% honest. I because I don't race. I don't care about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Some people, and I can tell you, there's guys who I'm on the flat and I'm riding with them on Zwift, and they go to a hill, and they just disappear. Yeah. And I'm like, what? How? I have guys, so for example, my goal is to try to break 50 minutes on the Alp.
Yeah. Because
at my weight, I've done 300 watts and that got me at 51 minutes.
Okay.
I know guys who do 60 watts, 260 watts.
Yeah.
And they're breaking like 45, 46. I'm like, how is that possible? It's depressing. Like no joke.
Oh, I hear it.
I do 265. That gets me like a 55 minutes up the Alp.
Yeah.
Guy do 265, 48 minutes.
Yeah. It
makes me want to cry.
See, that was the thing, is like during COVID, they're running, they start doing virtual Zwift racing, and like so many of the pros were getting into it, and like they put pro prize purses with it. I'm just like,
funny with Zwift was when the guy found that you could actually lower your weight on the climbs, and they kicked him out. I'm like, bro, he found a loophole in the system for you guys. Come on.
Yeah. If it's like, so I came up, I had a tweet that was very popular during COVID. And I was like, I'm not doing the virtual races because I just don't feel like I virtually kicked your ass. What am I? I virtually kicked your ass. Like,
yeah.
No, you actually didn't beat me. You just like virtually.
You virtually beat me. Yeah. No, I've had my share of Zwift. So when I just use Zwift as a training tool.
Yes.
And if I get beat by guys and whatever, because I know when I get outside, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Because you will never beat a person on Zwift that's pushing watch close to yours, that's 30 pounds lighter than you.
You know what? You'll beat me on Zwift.
But let's go in the real world.
You'll beat me on Zwift.
And then let's see what happens in the real world. That's the race for me. So whatever, I've experienced it all. And
yeah, but it is an incredible training tool. But that said, like watching, like going to races and going to events, whether it be triathlon or cycling, since I've done a lot of them. And I mean, I didn't do any last year, but 2 years, 3 years. And I'm just watching it, of the amount of power that people are putting out has greatly increased due to tools like Zwift.
Yeah, and I mean, again, it's the same thing too. Like when we go from indoors to outdoors, when it warms up, and I can see a difference. And the guys who spend some time on Zwift, you can tell.
But on the flip side, the bike handling has gone down
100
so much.
100%. I've seen people forget to unclip. Like, bro, you're not on Zwift. You need to unclip.
Yeah.
And you can't ride through people. It don't work like that.
Yeah. I just, again,
you're correct.
You go to turns, even elite athletes, like top level, not like top level, but high level athletes, you could see, I mean, before, to cool down as a top athlete, you would just cool down, you'd spin down. Now people, they'll jump on Zwift and cool down after a race. And I'm like people don't realize it's like cumulative neurological movements. Like when you're totally blasted and you're just soft pedaling, your body is still processing, and you take away that processing and you put it into mind-numbing activity like scrolling through your phone to see your results, you lose a little bit. And and people talk about like this increase in crashes that are in the pro tour. I think it's the result of Zwifting. Because all these athletes, you used to have bad weather, you're still out there riding. Good weather, you're out there riding. You have your hardest freaking workout. You're out there riding. Now you're doing your hardest workout in a lab on Zwift. Now you're doing bad weather riding. You're doing it on Zwift. And you just cut down those cumulative miles, those cumulative opportunities. It makes a difference when you're racing.
No, I mean, we have discussed this before, and I can tell that there's a lot of guys who are at the end of, the wintertime here, come outside and they're strong as hell. You're like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you can't do that. You're going to cause an accident.
Yeah.
So whenever some of these guys show up on the rides, I will just like, I'm out. And I go to the back and I go chill somewhere because I'm like, I'm not getting involved with these guys.
Do you know how I know if somebody has been riding indoors?
How?
Their bikes look like yours. They're clean.
Well, that's not, I don't know what I want to know yesterday. I went for a bike ride yesterday on that one. But,
how do you keep it that clean?
But I clean because when I'm done, I clean my bikes.
Okay.
I'm the type of guy when I finish, because this is my equipment. It's a part of me, so I don't leave my stuff dirty. Yeah. When I get home from almost every bike ride, I clean my bike. I wipe it off.
You do an incredible job. I mean, I clean my...
I'm kind of OCD a little bit, but for my bikes, this is a part of me. And if this fails, I'm going to fail if I'm on it. So I'm not sure things are... and for display purposes, I kind of clean them up a little bit.
I have my son. My son enjoys power washing. So when I get finished a good gravel ride, I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm going to get out the power washer. And he's like, oh, heck yeah. You go out in the backyard. The power washer's going up in the sky. But, I'm like, hey, make sure at least you get a little water on the bike.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, I took this off for a nice, it was like 50-something degrees yesterday in Chicago. And then today it's like down in 20s, half of the drop. But yesterday I was at work and my wife went to work because we go to work together. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I'll ride my bike to work today and I have to go all my stuff with me. And at 2:30, I was like, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah, no, it's
and I went for a 50 miler. I'm like, yeah.
Wow, you got 50 in yesterday? That was awesome.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. I should have been more, but I got work. I got caught up in my thing that I want to finish. But yeah, it was fantastic. So
awesome.
Got it done. Man, guys, we learned so much about you. Anything you want to leave us with before as we wrap up? Because I think we've talked about a lot from your racing as a pro, your race that you have coming up, Seeds and Stone, guys. Please check it out. All the experiences, know that you're the guy who broke 8 hours in an Ironman. You have the fastest time on the bike ever. I mean, still mind blowing. All the cool stuff you talk about, from your experience. I really appreciate you coming here and sharing with us. And Chicago, he's in the network, and I don't think you guys can truly appreciate. I mean, because I do, and I really can appreciate his influence and impact in Chicago. Because people outside of Chicago who have done triathlons, his name is at the pinnacle of stuff. I knew of him when I lived in Miami because I had friends who raced Ironman. I know I'm actually meeting him. I mentioned before, my uncle-in-law was like, this is the guy you need to meet. And here I am, 7 years later, sitting down with the person. Mind-blowing.
Well, thank you. I'm very humbled.
Like, man, this is... When I tell my friends, they're gonna like flip out. You don't understand. Yeah. They're gonna flip out.
I was never that athlete that was the all-star. Growing up, I just worked hard and didn't want to lose. And so I just kept working hard at it. And, I thought my athletic aspirations were gone. In high school or grade school. I wanted to be an engineer, honestly. And I was an engineer for a while and then ended up getting pretty good at triathlon. And then I was like, I'll chase this for a while. And I thought I'd chase it for a couple of years and didn't know I'd make a career out of it. So,
and that's the beauty of life, right? Life will pave the way for you. Sometimes just don't fight the gradient. Just go along with the gradient. Right, and if you
very philosophical,
a little bit, and if you can find that path, because that's how I got where I am right now. I just never fight the gradient. Like life, just kind of pick the path, and you're like, you know what? Let's go with it. Don't fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you.
You fight the power when you're training and stuff, but just go the gradient, and life will put you in the right place in the right time. As Mama always say, nothing happens before the right time.
Okay, let's go. So, check out fastendurance.com/experiences. I got all sorts of awesome 3-4 day stuff. I got single day events, and maybe there might be a probably, I would call it a sister to the spring classic of Unroad. Maybe there might be a fall classic coming in that I've been working on for a couple years that we're in the final moments of approval for. So I'm driving out tomorrow, and I got some meetings with some people, and maybe we can get a fall classic that for an all road, getting some gravel and some paved on the calendar.
Hey, riding is coming back in Chicago, Illinois area. So guys, from what I've been seeing so far, I think you're working in the background to get some stuff going, and I'm excited because we have a lot of talent and people need to see something. I think again, what like the Williams Road are doing in California is fantastic, and we have a lot of people here who to get it back up and running because I'm learning about cycling. I think it's a fantastic sport. I think equipment's getting a little bit less expensive because there's a more competition now in the market, so things are dropping a little bit, and we can all afford stuff now. And as usual, I say, if people want to, if you're at a 58 and you want to borrow a bike, I got many bikes. You can always hit me up. I got a lot of bikes, and I only can ride one. So again, man, thank you again. I mean, I'm shaking your hand.
Pleasure.
This is awesome. So,
Pleasure.
Guys, Andrew is in the network, guys. He's here. He's one of us. We have him. And let's keep it going. And there's amazing things to come we're going to interview and get with Andrew. And we're going to keep on pushing Chicago. Let's see how life takes us and where it takes us with cycling. And we can build up to a point where okay, we have this back in Chicago, in Illinois, in the US. Hincapie is doing something. We're building a team right now, I think. That's the plan is. So we have him doing stuff, and let's bring it back to the highest level. Let's go enjoy it. Whether you ride a fancy bike, rim brake, disc brake, no brake, mountain gravel, whatever. Just keep on having fun. And if it's something help your mental state or be at the highest level, let's do it for the right reasons. All right, guys. And again, be safe out there. But